Tara guys, basa na tayo ng ating libro, History of the Filipino People by Agoncillo and Guerrero. Today is 15 February 2023, History of the Filipino People Part 4, the American Period, topic number 20, Preparations for Independence. Nandito tayo sa paragraph, Problems of Economic Readjustment. Basa. Problems of Economic Readjustment. The most serious problems faced by the Commonwealth which it must solve within the short span of 10 years were those of economic readjustment to an independent status and the elimination or reduction of foreign domination of certain sectors of the national economy. The Philippine economy had been built upon complete dependence on the American market, with free trade arrangements established between the Philippines and the United States in 1909 set in motion. The Commonwealth exerted efforts to correct the overbalanced and abnormal economic situation brought about by preferential trade with the United States. At the same time, in accordance with the constitutional injunction that the national patrimony must be preserved for the Filipino people, the government took steps to reduce alien or foreign penetration of the Philippine economy. A. Trade relations with the United States. The most significant economic provision of the Tidings-McDuffie Law established a transitional period from the 6th to 10th year after the inauguration of the Commonwealth, during which the government would collect export taxes on Philippine exports to the United States. The imposition of duties would start at 5% in 1940 and would increase by 5% each year of the regular rates of duties collected by the United States, until 25% of such duties is reached in the 10th year or the last year prior to the establishment of independence. The Jones-Costigan Act 1934, which provided for the imposition of duty-free quotas on sugar, and the laws imposing excise taxes on coconut oil and cordage export to the United States would take effect at the same time. Upon assuming independent status, the Philippines would pay full duty on all its exports to the United States, while products of the United States would enter the Philippines duty-free. The gradually increasing duties on the major exports of the Philippines to the United States had been included in the Tidings-McDuffie Law, ostensibly to compel the Philippines to diversify its products, decrease the cost of production, and seek non-American markets. The sugar, coconut, and cordage industries, however, comprised about 90% of the Philippine exports, and upon them depended the very financial structure of municipal and provincial governments as well as the Commonwealth itself. The economic problem seemed formidable enough, especially because the Commonwealth government was expected during the transition period to prepare for the expenses of an independent existence after 1946. An industrialization program, the maintenance of an expensive diplomatic, consular service, and national defense system, among others. Quezon, however, was heartened by Section 13 of the Tidings-McDuffie Law, which provided for a joint United States-Philippine conference to be held in the latter part of the Commonwealth to remedy the imperfections and inequalities of the law. Soon after the inauguration of the Commonwealth, he made representations with President Roosevelt, requesting that the conference to be held earlier. Quezon also issued early in 1935 an Executive Order No. 780, creating the Technical Trade Committee for the purpose of gathering and interpreting statistical information to be used in the joint conference. The committee, composed of representatives of sugar and other agricultural interests, arrived at the conclusion that the application of the export taxes would seriously cripple, if not completely annihilate, most of the major industries of the country, reduce government revenues, increase unemployment, and prevent the payment of the country's bonded indebtedness. The committee also pointed out that under existing international economic conditions, it would be impossible to find new markets for Philippine sugar, copra, coconut oil, and cordage. It would, however, be unreasonable to expect the country to develop new industries to replace the major export industries within the short transition period providing for in the tidings smack Tafilo. In 1937, Quezon and President Roosevelt agreed to establish a joint Philippine-American committee to study the economic problems of the Philippines and to recommend a program for economic adjustment. The Joint Preparatory Committee on Philippine Affairs, JPCPA, was created on April 14, 1937, and hearings were held in Washington, San Francisco, and Manila for over a year. The JPCPA recommended in 1938 the grant of political independence to the Philippines on July 4, 1946, and the extension of free trade relations between the United States and the Philippines up to 1960. Following these recommendations, the United States Congress enacted on August 7, 1939, the Tidings-Kosciuszko Act, also known as the Philippine Economic Adjustment Act, which modified certain provisions of the Tidings-Magda law. The law provided that copra and abaca would be exempted from export duties, while cigar, scrap tobacco, and filler tobacco, coconut oil, pearl, or shell buttons would enter the United States under gradually decreasing quotas. The law contained provisions aimed at ensuring that the excise taxes collected from copra exports transferred to the Commonwealth could be used for preparing the country economically in 1946. The law, however, did not embody the JPCPA's recommendation that free trade relations be extended beyond the Commonwealth period. Instead, it provided for a trade conference between representatives of the United States and the Philippines to be held not later than 1944, for the purpose of formulating recommendations on trade relations between the two countries. However, the remedial legislation of 1939 as a whole gave Filipino producers and exporters a chance to make necessary adjustments preparatory to independence in 1946. The Commonwealth recognized the necessity of overhauling the national economy and weaning it away from over-dependence on the American market. Consequently, the government carried out an economic readjustment plan by using the funds transferred by the United States to the Philippines from the collection of excise taxes on coconut oil. The readjustment program included, among others, the diversification and increase of agricultural production, the development of various natural resources of the country, expansion of the domestic market through increased consumption of local products, development and improvement of transportation and communication facilities, scientific research, industrialization, and the development of foreign markets outside of the United States. In response to a proposal of President Quezon, the National Assembly created a National Economic Council to advise the government on economic and financial questions at the same time. I think hindi ko ito matatapos. So, yung letter A lang, hanggang letter B lang. So, ulitin ko ulit. The Commonwealth recognized the necessity of overhauling the national economy and weaning it away from over-dependence on the American market. Consequently, the government carried out an economic readjustment plan by using the funds transferred by the United States to the Philippines. From the collection of excise taxes on coconut oil, the Readjustment program included, among others, the diversification and increase of agricultural production, the development of various natural resources of the country, expansion of the domestic market through increased consumption of local products, development and improvement of transportation and communication facilities, scientific research, industrialization, and the development of foreign markets outside of the United States. In response to a proposal of President Quezon, the National Assembly created a National Economic Council to advise the government on economic and financial questions. At the same time, the government strengthened the National Development Company, which supervised and managed government finance and operated corporations to bring about economic improvements in the country. The National Development Company proposed to bring about expansion of credit facilities for agricultural and commercial activities, the installation of hydroelectric power plants, the rehabilitation of old industries, the creation of abaca and other fiber corporations, coconut and tobacco corporations to improve production, the establishment of resettlement communities in underdeveloped areas to reduce agrarian discontent, and the establishment of cotton textiles, footwear, and cement industries as well as food canneries. The government also undertook the organization of associations designed to work for the improvement of marketing and consumption of Philippine products. The Commonwealth attempted to implement a diversification program whereby products other than the traditional export crops would be cultivated. The diversification plan envisaged the establishment of self-sufficiency in dairy and dairy products, vegetables, canned fish, cotton textiles, and other products which form the bulk of Philippine imports from the United States and the other countries. Unfortunately, the lack of time and capital prevented the Commonwealth from gaining any headway in its program. Moreover, the products the Commonwealth wanted to raise in exportable quantities were already being raised in other countries at a very low cost to meet the demands of world consumption. Thus, these new products the Philippines could produce would be consumed only by the domestic market and would probably meet stiff competition in the international market. Guys, focus na itong letter B, alien penetration of the economy. Bye everyone, God bless.